Work drains you daily. You rush to the office in the morning, and before you know it, you're heading home. You've barely finished dinner when it's time for bed. Come weekend, your place is a mess. Laundry's piling up, and forget about a social life or finding a partner. In this never-ending cycle, how are you supposed to do a side project? You barely have time for regular life, let alone anything extra. Maybe you can't stand your job and need to prep for interviews. Maybe you want to up-level by learning a new skill. Maybe you've got an idea for a side hustle to break free from the work cycle, but you need time to do it. It's got to be possible, right? Yes, it is. I know because I've done it multiple times over the past 3 years. I worked a full-time job at Amazon while starting my YouTube channel. I also launched an online community, a weekly newsletter, and a paid product. Oh, and I had a child, and then another one soon after. I renovated my house, we went on family vacations, I took care of myself, and enjoyed my hobbies. I've been on several week-long photography workshops and golf trips with the boys, and I'm still standing, or sitting. I'm still sitting. You get the idea. How did I manage all of this? In this video, I'll show you exactly what worked for me, and hopefully you can find some things that work for you. I've distilled everything into a simple acronym, SIDE, S-I-D-E. Easy to remember, so you can go crush that killer side project that'll bring you tons of satisfaction. If you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Steve Huynh. I'm a former Amazon principal engineer turned content creator. My goal is to help 1 million people up-level their careers in life. Thank you for being part of that journey. If you'd like more from me, check out my weekly email newsletter or join my free community of over 5,500 positive and encouraging people helping each other out on my Discord. Links for both can be found in the description. Has this or something like this ever happened to you? You get really excited about a new project. You can't stop thinking about it. Man, it would be so cool if I did my own thing. Your mind is racing, so you create a plan. Maybe you even write it down. I'll wake up by 5 a.m., do a quick workout, and be at my computer by 7. I'll work on my side project until 9, then I'll start my day job. After work at 5:30 p.m., I'll jump back on the project until 7, eat, meditate, and work on it until bedtime. 5 days a week plus 3 to 4 hours on weekends. Maybe I'll put a full day in on it. Who knows? If I keep this up, I could handle 2 projects. And then you do it for like 3 days before it falls apart. I don't know about you, but I've done some version of this many times. Why doesn't it work? Let's step back and examine what we're trying to accomplish. We have a day job that pays the bills. We want enough time for ourselves, our families, our relationships, health and wellness. And then we want to work on our side project, whether that's a side hustle, learning a new skill, preparing for interviews, or starting a YouTube channel. The thing is, for a side project to be worth the effort and fulfilling, it has to be substantial. It's not just a task that you can knock out with an all-nighter. It's a whole thing with its own complexities that you need to chip away at over time. So how do we get there? I can't just give you a couple of tips to make this all work. If I could, this video wouldn't need to exist. You'd already be living the life that you want. The difference between tactical and strategic is this. Being tactical is about doing stuff, whereas being strategic is thinking about how we go about doing stuff. What needs to be true for this to succeed in the long run? We can't just be tactical. You can't make a to-do list or just willpower your way there. And that's my first point. For a side project to work, you need to be strategic. The first letter of SIDE is S for strategy. I'll walk you through my strategy for side projects. Imagine if I transport you to the future where your side project is a raging success. This picture represents the effort you expended between today and that future. What's an optimal distribution that would guarantee success? I think it would be something like 1/3 of your effort in your personal bucket, 1/3 for work, and 1/3 for the side project. The exact percentages aren't important. Your distribution may be different. The strategy can't be to put in all of your effort in on the side project. It's a side project. You can't quit your job yet, and you can't neglect self-care, health, and relationships. If you're like most people, your current effort allocation is like 80% work and 20% personal. To have a successful side project, you need to find a sustainable way to balance your effort across work, personal, and side project. Any plan where you sacrifice your personal time for your side project is bound to fail and burn you out. So the effort has to come from the work cup. Now, the water and cup don't represent your time allocation. The secret to doing side projects isn't to ghost work so you can do your own thing. The water represents your effort. Strategically, at a high level, you have to have clear boundaries for your effort, and capacity for your side projects has to be reallocated from your work bucket. You're not going to be able to power through, and any plan that doesn't have sustainability and balance built into it is going to fail. We're going to keep this in mind as we develop that plan. I'd like to pause really quick with a message from our sponsors. I can't make videos that help you up-level yourself or your career without sponsors. So thank you, Formation, for being today's video sponsor. The job market is tough right now, but big tech companies are still hiring with huge compensation packages for mid and senior positions in the US and Canada if you can get your foot in the door. Maybe you've put in 5 years at a company and want to efficiently prepare for interviews to land that big offer. Formation is here to help. They're the world's first technical interview prep program for experienced software engineers that combines AI with mentors to help you create a personalized plan just for you. You could do it all yourself, but the stakes are high and you don't have a lot of time. Interviews are hard to come by, so when you get an opportunity, you want to be as prepared as you can possibly be. With Formation, after your assessment, they'll create a personalized study plan based on your needs. Their unlimited plan offers coaching, mock interviews, and extensive resources until you land your next position. Their mentors and coaches come from top tech companies and know exactly what it takes to get hired there. Formation fellows have recently landed roles at Meta, Amazon, Scale AI, NVIDIA, and more. Those who finish the program see on average an increase of $100,000 between their pre-formation and post-formation compensation. If you're serious about leveling up and want the best, most personalized interview prep out there, Formation has you covered. To apply to their program, click on the link in the description. Thank you, Formation, for sponsoring today's video. Let's dive back into it. Let's talk about investing. When you invest, you let go of some capital. Say you buy $1,000 of stock, but you're not doing it out of kindness. If you gave $1,000 without expecting anything in return, that's charity. You're not spending that money to consume a product. That's buying. With an investment, you expect returns over time that make it worthwhile. But investments can also give you other returns. It doesn't always have to be about money. Your scarcest resource is your focused attention, your time. The average person only has 4,000 weeks in their life. Even the world's richest can't buy more time. Your side project needs time and effort, which you lack if you're working. But if you have a job, you probably have some money. And that's my second point. The I in side stands for investment. Invest in your side project by buying back your time with money. If possible, hire people or buy services that directly save you time. Putting that time into your side project isn't lazy, it's an investment. This lesson was tough for me due to my upbringing. As a child of immigrants who came to the US with absolutely nothing, I was raised with the opposite mindset. To survive, my parents aggressively traded time for money. We did everything ourselves: laundry, cleaning, cooking, everything. Growing up with little taught me valuable lessons, but a scarcity mindset can hold you back. I couldn't have done all of my side projects without aggressively trading money for time. I'm not saying go hire a butler, chef, a personal assistant, and a driver, but you can probably afford laundry service, meal boxes, or occasional cleaners. If you then use that free time for video games or scrolling, that's a luxury. If you dedicate it to your side project, it's an investment. I found that investing money for time makes me more focused. I've channeled that scarcity mindset into being frugal with my time. By unloading routine tasks, I ensure my effort goes to work that I really need to do. Don't break the bank, but if you can trade a reasonable amount of money for direct time savings you can apply elsewhere, do it. It's a great investment. Let's get to it. We've talked about how to approach a side project, but how do you actually execute while working? To understand the key, let's revisit our effort allocation from earlier. For this to work, we need to put equal sustained effort into work, personal time, and our side project. But how do we do this effectively? It all happens on the daily level. Let's talk about your daily energy levels. You might think that they're equally distributed across the day, but that's not the case. Most people are either morning people or night owls. There's a time of day when you're the most effective and can focus the best. If you're a night owl and I ask you to help me move at 7 in the morning, you'll tell me to kick rocks. Same if you're a morning person and I ask you to come over at 10 p.m. And that's my third point. For your project to succeed, you need to optimize your daily energy levels. There's typically 1 to 2 hours a day where you can sustain maximum focus and be really productive. The other hours, you can put in medium or low effort. As a salaried employee, you likely have some flexibility in your working hours. You probably have poor work boundaries and do off-hours things like checking email or Slack messages. So don't feel guilty if your most productive work hours are during the workday. You can make up for it by scheduling around it. To hack your daily energy levels, set aside 1 to 2 of your best hours for your side project. Cut out distractions and focus on what you need to do. I'm a morning person. The first 2 hours of my day are what I call my caviar hours. The quality of time you dedicate to your side project is much more important than the quantity. If your side project gets your highest quality hours, you won't need to take up a large quantity of your time. For the last point, let me explain Parkinson's law. Parkinson, the guy that came up with the concept, illustrates this with this story. A lady has all day to send a postcard. So she spends an hour shopping for one, another hour looking for her glasses, 30 minutes for finding the address, 15 minutes of writing, 20 minutes to decide whether to take an umbrella or not on her way to mail it. A task that would take someone else 3 minutes if that's all the time that they had. Parkinson's law states that work expands so as to fill the time available for its completion. When I was at Amazon and decided to tackle all of these side projects, I committed to being as efficient as possible at work. I aimed to do the bare minimum in order to get a decent annual performance review. I declined unnecessary meetings, focused on 1 to 2 things at a time, and I said no a lot. I straight up got out of meetings and left them if I didn't think that I needed to be there. I was totally in 3-minute postcard mode, and something unbelievable happened. My boss was happier with me, my coworkers were happier with me, and I got the top performance rating 3 years in a row. And that's the final bit. The E stands for effectiveness and efficiency. You have all of the time that you need for your side projects. Most people complain about lack of free time, but they're spending all day sending a postcard. They're easily distracted. The average knowledge worker checks their email every 6 minutes. Is that you? Now, I'm not saying become a robot or lose your humanity through brutal efficiency. I'm saying you're likely not as effective and efficient as you could be. Many things at work are optional and don't affect your performance evaluation. When you do sit down for work, think about the least effort you can put in to achieve reasonable results. All right, I've got a confession to make. I've left out the most crucial piece of my success. I didn't do this all alone. None of this would have been possible without my incredibly smart and beautiful wife. Her support and unbelievable effort have been the backbone of everything that I've achieved. Thanks, babe. Sorry, folks, she's one of a kind and she's all mine. I can't really give advice on finding an amazing partner. I got incredibly lucky, and get lucky isn't exactly actionable advice. If you found this video helpful, I've got more for you. Check out this earlier video on how I managed to have time for everything while I was still in the thick of my corporate job. And if you've already seen that one, take a look at my video where I explain what led me to quit my high-paying job to create content full-time.